Today we are going to replace the gaskets around our windows. Is that the plan?
Whatever the seal system is, yes.
Yes.
Because we're getting inside leakage when it's raining really hard.
Okay, and so we've got 2 big windows and 2 small windows that we need to do.
Correct.
One above the bunk up there that you can't see on camera, the one behind us, and then the one in front of us, which is the same size. These are both the same size.
And one in the kitchen.
And then one in the kitchen. So which one do we want to start with?
One of these 4.
I'd like to start with a small one because then we know what we're getting into, like the weight and all that
one
other
in
stuff.
the kitchen might be a little bit easier to get to.
Okay, so let's start with the kitchen one.
And there's less of this covering.
Yeah, because
So I think that's going to be very hard to get
yeah,
off.
we have no idea how we're going to get the window out of the frame. I mean, you take the screws out of the frame, we get that, but we have the cornices and side pieces, so we don't know how to do any of that. So that's going to be, I think, our challenge, is getting the blinds down to get to the windows.
And there's just not much room up in there to even see what's in there.
So I'm thinking I'm going to recommend let's put the awning down so we can work in the shade.
Good idea.
I brought the table out.
Okay.
You have, I see you gathered up some stuff here.
The other YouTube videos we've seen where somebody has done this, they've spent a lot of time cleaning the old seal.
Okay, and then so
it could be as simple as
plastic
this
putty
and
knife,
elbow grease.
putty knives, elbow grease. This caulk finishing set. So this is to remove old caulk and place with a perfect bead. So I'm wondering if that's a scraper tool.
Scrape through it, yes. I should probably get a X-Acto knife too.
Yep. And then we have the new stuff to put on somewhere.
I was actually going to go in and get that.
Okay, so he'll go in and get that. And then, so the plan is to start with the kitchen, take the cornice off, take the window out, work outside in the shade, getting all the old caulk removed from both the rig and the window frame, and then put the new seal stuff on it. I don't know what the seal stuff's called. I'm sure he will go and get it and show us in a moment. Put the new seal stuff on and then put the window back in. And then once it dries and it's ready, I guess we have to caulk the outside of the window too. So we've never done this. We're starting with a small window. We'll see how it goes. Wish us luck. What has he got here?
2 things. Picked them up off of Amazon. The caulking that you put it on and then it kind of squishes into
like
place.
The consistency of putty, right?
Somewhat, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Ladybug, no helping.
And then everybody recommends this Dynaflex 230. This Dynaflex 230 from DAP. And I don't know, looks like silicone to me.
This cornice is going to be the hardest piece to get off, I think. And getting the shade up out of the way. I don't know how many screws are. I wonder if you could, if I held this back like this, if you could get the screwdriver up there, we didn't even need to remove this.
I really can't see.
Because the
clip of some kind.
You're going to have to take the string off that you just did. This one I think is going to be the easiest to get off because it does have a clip on it. There's 2 clips up here. This is more like a regular blind. I think the other ones are going to be the harder ones to take off. Yeah, I think we're just going to be able to snap it up, tilt it up.
I don't know how to disconnect these things.
Hey.
I don't want to break them.
I think you just twist it, don't you?
I don't know. I just
Or
don't want
you-
to break the
if we
little
release
plastic.
If we release that clip a little bit and it pops down. Where's that screwdriver? A real screwdriver, not a power screwdriver.
There you go. There's your screwdriver.
That one might be a little bit too big to stick up in there.
Oh.
Let's try something better.
How about this one?
That one probably will work. It might be too big. Can you use your light again?
How about this one?
That's perfect. Can you use your light again? I need lighting assistance. And I need my reading glasses on.
Can I film this while I'm...
Do we need to take this off again?
I don't know.
Okay.
Your guess is as good as mine. And I'm in the way, I'm sure.
Yeah. Here, put the at least put the light there. There we go. Yeah, that just lifts up a little bit. And then this will pop out, but I gotta get them both at the same time without... You know what, you're the mechanic. Why is the mechanic not doing it?
I want you to break it. I don't want to break it.
I'll hold the light and you do it.
You just want to see if I can stand on my head.
Mm-hmm. See, that's what I was doing, just like that. And then twisting it down with my other hand.
I don't know. Did we look this up on YouTube?
Yes.
What'd you find?
To do exactly what you're doing. Don't get your fingers stuck.
Ow. This one isn't the same. This doesn't make any sense to me. How is it? What is it holding?
That
My
metal...
fingers.
Well, then the alternative is to remove this cornice, but I can't see
I
how...
think you have to take the cornice off.
But I don't see where it's attached. I mean, it's obviously attached somewhere, but how and where? Here, let me see the screwdriver again. Shed a little light, please.
Can you see past the light?
Barely. This is so old, I'm wondering if it's... Can you... I need better lighting up in there to see what I'm doing.
I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it's like it's a clip on the metal piece.
See, I couldn't get the... Ladybug! No!
Where did she get that from?
Ladybug, what are you doing? That's the string I needed.
Come here. Bring it here. Come here. Give it to me. Drop it. Drop it. Good girl. Good. Drop it. Come on, move.
But I'm not done. We'll play tug.
No. No, this is not a play toy.
Well, I thought it'd be easy to use that twine when I put the solar system on. It was a roll at one time.
I'm gonna go find her a toy.
Please don't undo this, because I'll never get it through again. I didn't know if maybe it was low.
Okay, that side is.
Aha.
I'm not sure what I did.
Well, you need to know what you did.
I don't know what I did.
Whatever you did, it worked.
So there's 2 angle irons up here with plastic clips on them. And I just jiggled it enough to turn so this piece came off the clips. It's kind of like the
Did
line.
loosening the string give you more to
I
play
think
with?
it may have given me a little bit more to play with, yes.
You can't see through your arm
You can't see through my arm?
to tie a knot
Okay.
so that I don't lose this.
Okay, so he lowered it. I was able to get the screwdriver up there. It's like a little plastic clip. And I'm thinking that you can probably get to these screws now without having to take this valance down.
The valance has to come out.
Okay, the valance has to come out.
We can't get up
So there's
in there.
one screw here. Steve's on the inside. He's taking this kitchen window out. He brought the ladder out for me, and I'm going to catch the window when he gets the right number of screws out. The putty knife, well, first of all, what surprised me is I was expecting this inside frame to come off and this pull the window out towards me. What ended up happening is after Steve got all the screws out, what?
Can I call you Four Eyes?
So this is, okay. For the record, I have contacts in. So I have to wear readers so I can see small stuff because I'm old. But it's very bright and you don't want to see me squinting, so I've got my sunglasses on. And the easiest place to do that is to put one on your head and one on your face. It looks weird, but what looks even weirder is when I start to do this. And at some point today I will do that. Because then I want the sunglasses and the readers on.
Oh, that is funny. Let me know when you're going to do that so I can take pictures.
So the caulk that's on this window is still really sticky and gooey. So this window may have been done. And like I said, we were doing this one
This was our experiment.
to experiment because it's an easy light one. But since we're doing it, I'm taking the putty knife out here and I'm just scraping all the goo off. Most of it came off with the window.
There was no sealant. No silicone sealant along the edges.
Yeah, there wasn't, was there? So I think Steve's going to go grab watch your eyeballs, hon, because this is flaking a little bit.
So now I'm wondering if the side window was leaking
Because they didn't put a seal in there.
because they never put the bead of silicone
Yep.
sealant. Interesting.
But I think that this is good here. I mean, it looks really good. It looks very clean. I mean, I would go ahead and take some mineral spirits and wipe the edge because it's still a little tacky and we want to get a good seal.
Well,
but
we want tacky.
True.
It's going to be the same stuff.
So
I think
got
we're good with it.
little ball, and then I'm going to go do it on the same thing on the window. This is pretty much the goo that I took off of the inside. Most of it seems to be stuck on the window here. Like I said, it's really sticky still. You can see it here. Sticky putty is still stuck to the window, and it's a bevel. Thank you for the right word in there. So I'm just trying to pull it out with both my finger and this putty knife. This little bit here was able to come out with my fingers, and it's still like we said, it's still really sticky. So I'm pretty sure that it's not that old. You can see it's peeling up like this. Kind of reminds me of silly putty. Probably same consistency.
I do know when I bought the putty, there were 2 different thicknesses you could get.
Okay.
I bought the wider. It's very wide.
Yeah. This is so gross. I'm making a face because it's gross.
There's two different putties on this.
Are there?
Yep. The old stuff is still here.
Is it on this side?
You can see the different colors.
Oh, show. Let's turn it around so everybody can see it on camera.
So I think the previous RV owner had replaced this seal.
Yeah.
Or so it looks.
It's just getting it up out of the bevel. That other tool that we had in the other kit, was it more U-shaped that maybe I can get in there easier?
No, it's actually V. It doesn't have to be spotless.
Okay.
I mean, we're putting the same stuff on. It's kind of like if you get, shit, what's the stuff called that kids get?
Silly putty. I said it looked like silly
it's
putty.
It's like silly putty.
It's gross on my fingers.
So it'll stick to each other. And
Screen.
if you look at this, there are two sides. You probably want the angled side facing up.
I'm actually looking at the screen and seeing how the screen comes out so we can clean it.
Good
before
idea.
we pop it back in because it's pretty filthy. So is the window. Might as well take advantage of having everything out and apart. Don't we have two putty knives?
Yes.
Why are we sharing?
Because we love each other.
Window open. This way.
Where did I hand you
No,
your...
yeah, you handed me the sunglasses on this side.
So it's on that side.
So this is the rear,
So
this is the front, this is the top. Woo!
We want to start the putty
On the bottom.
at the bottom.
Are we putting the putty on here, or do you put the putty on the window itself? And then the rig.
Probably should clean the rig first.
Yeah.
Or did you already do that?
I scraped it a little bit, and I asked if we wanted to do mineral spirits, and you said you didn't think we needed to. I mean, I took it.
They did say to use mineral spirits.
Here and here is the bottom.
So this is the bottom.
This is the bottom, this is the top. Inside changing the battery and emptying the SIM card, and Steve got the window in a couple of spots.
There are two different length screws.
Okay.
There was 6 of them that were longer. So I went ahead and put the 2 here, the longer, 2 here longer, and these 2 were the longers. Now I'm going back and I just snugged them in so they're barely in.
And obviously he was able to get this window up because of the location by himself without my help while I was inside.
Yeah, I'm in trouble.
So we didn't get that part on video.
But it was a place where I could hold it up, reach around, and start the screws back.
And we'll show you another window. We're not going to video all 4 windows. We just really wanted to video the first one. What I think we're going to end up doing is doing the other ones, and then coming back and recapping what we did, what we didn't do, what we liked, what worked. This is the second window. And this is the window that was leaking. And it was leaking from this top corner here, right? This is the top.
Yes.
So it was leaking here, and we think it was running down.
You can actually see where it's discolored. That's definitely where it was leaking.
So the other putty, as I was pulling it off and peeling it off, it was like the consistency of silly putty. Now, as I'm peeling this one off, you can see from my hands, hopefully they're in focus, you can see from my hands that it's sticky and it's sticking to everything. kind of like bubble gum or a booger. I know, I mean, whatever. We all know what a booger feels like. But it's very, very sticky. It's very hard to get off of here. I don't know if this is older or if this is a different brand than the one was on the kitchen window.
This is definitely older than the small window that we did first.
You think so?
Because that stuff was fresh.
This is just not easy to remove. It's taking a long time. You can see along here where it's bubbled and cracked. So, I mean, I'm glad we're doing this. It's gross.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're doing it. Nothing about this job has been hard. It's just time consuming. Figuring out the right tools, getting the valance off, getting the blinds off, removing the nasty putty. It's time consuming, but not hard. It's definitely a two-person job though.
Definitely.
I don't think, not all parts are.
Except the cleaning off part. She's doing really well with a one-person job.
Yeah, I mean, there's some parts of it that are only one person can do. But, you know, you definitely need a friend to help you pull the window out. This window's I'm pretty strong. This window's not that heavy, but it was a little heavier than I thought it would be.
It's only probably 20, 25 pounds,
and it's
maybe?
Big. It's
yeah,
real
big and bulky.
And like I said, with the kitchen window, we're doing the same thing with this window, and we'll do the same thing with all the other windows. When we're taking it out, we're taking the time to really clean it good. I took the screen inside and I cleaned that off, and
the putty, putting the putty on, thick enough where it actually oozes out.
Yeah, so it's just time consuming. It is not a hard job, but do not think you're going to get this done in a couple of hours. It's a day job. It's an all-day job. This is day 2 of our project. We got two windows done yesterday. We have 2 to go today. Got a small one and a big one yesterday, and we're going to do a small one and a big one today.
We've already gone through the learning curve, taking the ballast off. The other one, at least one of the ballasts is already off, and well, we spent about 2 hours washing the shades, I guess.
Yeah, the window shades in here were really, really dirty, so as well as like the track where the window was, everything was pretty filthy, so we've taken the time, and I think that's why it's taking us so much time.
Yes.
Because we've taken the time while everything's apart to do a deep cleaning on the parts.
Right.
We got the hose out, we got a scrub brush, so hopefully the blinds are clean, and the blinds are as clean as they're going to get. A couple of them were stained, but they're cleaned and they are dry, and so once we get the other big window done, we'll be able to put the big windows back up again. We have one small window that we didn't pull the blinds down on yet.
Not yet. That one should be pretty easy.
That's going to be pretty easy. It's a smaller one. It's the window over the... Yeah. My nose is really itchy. Sorry. My the one that's left is a small one. It's the one over the cab. So that one should be both easy to clean and easy to get off. The hard part about getting it off,
it's tight getting up in
is
there.
he's going to have to sit on the inside on the bunk, and I'm going to be on the tippy top of the ladder outside. But because it's a smaller window, it won't be heavy.
Correct.
And so hopefully, we think that this one was recently done, but we're not positive, and we're not willing to take a risk on it.
We already had someone replace the roof and some of the inside panels. And I think they pulled this one out, but we're going to pull it out anyway. Put a little more of the caulking on it and put it back up, and make sure the windows are all 100% ready.
It's one more thing that when we bought a used, we knew we were going to have to do work, and we're taking the time to not assume somebody else has done it. Oops, sorry about that. Ladybug just knocked the camera. You still look good.
Okay.
Ladybug, no, honey, no. So as usual, Ladybug has made an appearance in our video.
Yes.
Although you can't see her, she has made an appearance in that she was sniffing around the camera.
And bumping it.
And bumping it. So one of the decisions we made when we decided to keep this one for a little longer than we originally thought we were going to keep it is to take the time to do things right, and us to do some of the things we weren't sure were done properly.
That, and it's going to add value. When we go to sell it, it will be all ready. The inside will be fixed up, you know, it'll be 100%, well, it'll be ready to sell.
Yeah, it'll be ready to sell. And we'll learn all of our lessons on this one. We already know which one we want to buy next.
I've learned what you really need to look at when buying a used one.
Yes, yes. And so we're taking this opportunity to just get things clean, get things rolling. Hopefully, you know, we're filming this in March of 2020. We are all home and, you know, self-quarantine with the virus. We are not sick. We are just making sure we don't get sick. So we're taking the time to do some of those honey-do list things.
And we're in South Carolina, so we have a very narrow window when it's not blazing hot out or cold.
Right, right.
So when these days in the low 80s hit and the sun's out, it's not raining, time to do it.
And you notice today I have a hat on. Yesterday I didn't have a hat on. I have the hat on today because we're actually going to be working on the sunny side of the RV today. So we're going to have to take the windows down from the sunny side. We're going to bring them around under the awning and work on them and then have to go back to the sunny side. But I burn very easily. Yes. And so I'm keeping my hat on to
put on sunscreen.
I did put sunscreen on yesterday and today, and I did not get sunburned. So
I didn't. Am I sunburned?
Well, you were inside a little bit more than me.
Oh, that is true.
Because it like what I was saying yesterday is this is a two-person job. It's an easy job.
Yes.
It's time-consuming.
I wouldn't say easy, but it's parts of it are challenging.
I think the hardest...
big window, we had a little problem putting it back in where it wasn't aligned just right, and it took a while to get everything lined up for the screws to start.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, the bigger windows are bigger. I mean,
yes,
they're almost what I'm gonna say 5.5 feet, almost 6 feet.
Yeah.
Probably close.
4.
I don't know. But the blind that we took down was longer than my bathtub because my intention was to take the blinds down and go soak them in a really good detergent and some OxyClean in the bathtub, and that did not work. What we ended up doing is laying them out on the lid of our hot tub and scrubbing them with Simple Green and Dawn dish soap with a scrub brush.
RV long scrubbing brush that worked.
Yeah. It worked out well, and then we drained them outside, and then we put them in the shower stall overnight to finish draining.
Yes.
So, an alternative if you've got big things and you're on the road and you don't have a bathtub, like I said. Getting the bigger window in yesterday was difficult only because it was big and it was heavy, and I had to be outside maneuvering it while he was inside getting at least the first 3 or 4 screws in to set it.
Right.
And of course you can't, once you set it in there, you can't shift it because of the putty.
Right. It starts sticking.
Yeah, as it should.
Yeah.
So, it's a two-person job. It's time consuming, but it's not. I like I said, I don't think of it as difficult. I just think of it as time-consuming and fiddly.
Yeah. Time cleaning.
Yeah, the cleaning time is, tough.
Cleaning off the bad putty. Took a while to scrape it and then clean it, and there's a lot of detail to it,
now,
I'd say.
Our kitchen window wasn't leaking, so we cleaned it up pretty good, but we didn't clean it up perfect. The big window over the dinette that was leaking, we really cleaned it good, made sure we got all the old putty off, and really first we had to clean it with mineral spirits, and then we cleaned it with soap to get the mineral spirits off so it would adhere, and then we had to leave it out in the sun to dry. So that's where I say things take time if you have to get that level of cleaning, I guess. And
we also found that the little drains were a little bit plugged up. Stuff had gotten in there. Something I really never thought about. Trying to clean them thoroughly. Right. And what we found out after taking the big window out is it had been leaking worse than we thought. There was a lot of water damage inside that we couldn't see, and everything was wet. It's drying out now. One of our plans is after we're done with all the window replacements, we're still in the process of organizing and doing other jobs, but I think the very next thing we're probably going to do, since we're hooked up to power here at the house, dehumidifier,
is we're going to seal it up and then bring our dehumidifier in here just to run for a couple days. We don't have to run it for many days. The big problem is in another 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to get into the hot, humid weather in the Carolinas. I have purchased, but we haven't opened yet, some dehumidifiers that work without electricity.
The small ones.
The small ones. And so I bought 2, I think. And so my intention was to hang them in here when we're not using this daily. And maybe even need it daily, depending on where we travel once we start really traveling in this thing. You know, this year everything's canceled, so it's really going to be time to do all of those honey-do lists.
And hopefully we'll get to travel.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see how this all pans out with the epidemic.
Right, right. So we're going to get to work. We've got a couple hours worth of work to do, and then we will do a wrap-up this afternoon or later this evening about what we learned, what we didn't learn, what we liked. So far, just time-consuming.
Yes.
You're going to have to ignore the people doing yard work in the back. Steve is on that magical window, the one that we've been looking for 2 days, which would be called the last window. And of course, it is the one with the worst. This is the worst putty job that we've got. He's actually having to use a knife to get some of the old caulk off. And it's very challenging to try and get that off without ruining those stickers. But it'll be nice to have this one completed and all the windows done and in and clean, and the blinds are clean. So the next thing I'm going to do while he finishes that up is go inside and see if I can figure out how to clean the valances. So all the windows are done.
Almost. Not all done.
Well,
we still gotta clean the putty, clean the putty off, and put the silicone sealant on.
Towards the end of day 2. It's been a very long day.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a lot of hard work. It's hard work in that you gotta keep moving. It's not physically hard. It's just tedious and long. And once again, we were cleaning as we go. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna follow Steve over. He's gonna show you how to use this really cool tool he's been using to help get some of the putty that oozes out after you really tighten that down. It's the bottom where we can get a better angle on it. And we unfortunately have got a lot of shadow from the sun, so you get to see the camera shadow too. But you can see how he's able to clean up that putty. So then when he gets the caulk and he's able to run a bead of caulk through there, that's great. So with that, I'm gonna leave him to work. We are on day 3 of our window reseal. We've replaced the putty. We cleaned all the blinds. We cleaned the windows really well. You know, so it took a little bit longer than I thought it would because we did all that cleaning.
And we're now down to the finishing touches of silicone sealing the outside.
So Steve's going to show you what he's doing on one of the windows that I can easily videotape. And then we should be able to wrap this job up. What we're doing is we're putting in some clear caulk.
It's supposed to be clear. It comes out white.
It comes out white, and we're going to caulk around the edges here. Caulk around the edges here so that any of the putty will also improve. So as he climbs up on the ladder, he's using this tool. He's giving me directions as to where to stand so I can watch what he's doing. What are you caulking? The door?
No.
Oh, that window. Okay.
Actually, I was thinking I should do the door too.
Probably wouldn't hurt to do the door.
That's like the only one left.
Yeah, we didn't do the door window, and we didn't do it when we replaced these blinds. That's another video you'll see.
So one thing I did discover, it's spring in South Carolina. Pollen is bad. I had to go back and wash around the edge of every window because there was so much pollen.
And this is just overnight that much pollen got on the windows.
I've done this a few times at home, remodeling, and it can be difficult trying to get the right amount. And then I have to get the right amount of clearance. Yeah, sometimes it's not easy. So the new tool, I haven't figured out if it worked better if it was wet, but all you do, take it, go back here, and slide it right down the edge. Wipe off the little bit that it's scraped off. Come back. And then the old school, lick your finger.
Boy, that
Works
makes a
well.
nice looking line, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Really smooth. Looks like it should seal up well.
So you've done 2 of the 4 windows or 3 of the 4 windows?
This is the third.
This is the 3rd of the 4 windows.
Yes.
So the 2 big, once you get done with, so you did the small one on the other side and the big one on the other side. And then you're doing the big one on this side, and then we have the small one on this side.
I used that one to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
The little one first.
The little window is above our cab. I think I've said that a couple times, and it's very oddly shaped, and they cut the hole incorrectly. So we had a really tough time. Getting the window out was easy, but we had a really tough time putting it back in again and getting to seal up properly. And that one we know leaked at one point in the past, but it hasn't leaked since we've bought in the rig. But
we were not the first ones in there.
no, but it looks like the people who fixed that small window in the past didn't completely
Use
take it out
Band-Aids.
and
They
use
didn't fix
Band-Aids
it
versus fixing, where we feel like we've, at least in this stage, we've fixed it. So this is the last step of the process. Actually, probably the second to the last step in the process. My guess is he's going to get the hose out once all this dries and spray it down and confirm that it doesn't leak. But
Maybe.
we're not going to show you that part. So this is Kathy,
This is Steve.
and we are Fate, Fortune, and Fun. And if you enjoy these videos and want to watch our adventures getting ready to go full time, and once we go full time, please subscribe, hit the notification button,